If you want a culture of continuous learning where people reflect, grow, and challenge themselves and each other, then feedback needs to become a habit, not a performance review. This is where our blues and oranges feedback model comes in. It's simple, human, and helps feedback flow up, down, and across the organization. And it's built around something called FOQs, Focused Open Questions. They spark self-awareness and learning. Let me show you how it works. Blues and oranges feedback is a 4-step model with 2 steps that are blue and 2 steps that are orange. Blues are all about recognizing what's going well, wins, progress, strengths, successes. Oranges are where we dig into challenges, growth, and opportunities for learning. And it always starts with the team member or the person who's the focus of the feedback going first. They share their own reflections, which creates more ownership and psychological safety. That's where focused open questions come in to invite reflection. Let's walk through all 4 steps together, starting with step 1, which is when the leader asks a blue focused open question to invite the team member to reflect on what's going well. Practice leader-like listening after they share so that you can probe and confirm what you've heard. This builds confidence, insight, and self-awareness. Then we move on to step 2, where you are reinforcing and recognizing with SBI. Start by reinforcing what they've shared, adding some context or maybe the impact that it had, and then add your own recognition using situation, behavior, and impact. When you use SBI, this helps your feedback be really clear and helps them to repeat the behavior that you want to see more of. Then step 3 is another FOQ. The leader asks an orange FOQ to help the team member reflect on challenges, growth edges, or areas to improve. Again, leader-like listening is key here. You may need to ask a couple of follow-up questions to help the team member get clear on opportunities and next steps. This encourages ownership and vulnerability. And then finally, step 4 is where you get a chance to coach and redirect with SBI again. You can build on what they shared, offering some next steps or asking a few more questions to help them find next steps, and provide your own feedback using SBI. When you share an orange situation, behavior, impact, we always recommend asking a question afterwards to encourage them to reflect, add some perspective before identifying next steps. Now remember, you are coaching here, not criticizing. The tone matters, and it's all about helping them grow forward, not about pointing out flaws, placing blame, or looking backwards. We actually wish that feedback was called feed forward for just that reason. Let's take a look at what this looks like in one flowing conversation. So tell me, what's something you're really proud of accomplishing over the last week? Honestly, that client call, I felt more in control than usual. Nice. What do you think helped with that? I think I prepped more and I stayed more calm during some tricky sort of conversation situations. I noticed that too. In the call, you asked thoughtful questions and really listened. It helped the client feel heard and made the next steps way easier for us. What's something you might do differently next time? Well, the client hasn't gotten back to us with the information that we need, so that's a problem. I've had to follow up several times already. What do you think's causing that? I guess I was really energized after that meeting and I just sent the email so quickly. I didn't really think it through in a logical, really clear manner. So that might be causing some confusion. Oh yeah, I can understand your excitement. It sounds like you let it get the best of you. In that follow-up message, I think the timeline wasn't super clear, which might have left them questioning what the next steps were for them. What might help in the future to make sure that your emails are really actionable? Well, for one thing, I think that these emails happen all the time, so I could easily have a template with sort of steps laid out, and I'll just pause and reread before I send and imagine I'm on their end. Great ideas. That template will help you be more efficient. And we could probably all stand to reread an email before we send it once in a while. Thanks so much. That's it. It flows naturally, it's helpful and specific. By the way, if you're a leader, one of the best things you can do is model this. After all, if you want a culture of continuous learning, you need to also develop yourself. So you might ask your team to consider some blues and oranges for you for your next one-to-one. And in that meeting, start with your own reflections. Here's one thing I think I did well last week, and here's something I'm working on. Then you can flip the FOQs for yourself. Ask a blue, like, what's something you appreciate about how I support you? Ask an orange, like, what's something I could do differently to support you more effectively? Make sure that you are responding with gratitude and openness and not defending yourself. That's where the safety and trust is built. And it shows that learning is for everyone. The Blues and Oranges feedback model isn't a script, it's a rhythm. It's something you can do in one-to-ones, after projects, at milestones, after meetings, and all the time. Use blue FOQs to encourage positive reflection and to celebrate wins. Use orange FOQs to explore challenges and support development. Use leader-like listening to create connection and trust, and ground your feedback in something like SBI so it lands really clearly. When you do this consistently, it builds a culture where everyone's looking for ongoing development, and feedback is no longer scary. It's something that happens all the time. In that kind of culture, people aren't just performing, they're growing, and so is your business.